Hey everybody, Tim here. I got Kevin to my left.
Hey!
We're at Second Self Brewery right now in coordination with Terminus Legion and Soccer in the Streets.
Yeah, should be a great event. We'll be out here for a couple hours, and we're hoping to upload this into... We have announcements. I'm sorry. This is terrible audio. Oh.
No drinks on the table, guys.
All right. So.
Yeah, we're still getting the rules for the game. So, yeah, kind of special thing going on. We are participating, us, Mouse of the South, Terminus Legion.
Soccer in the Streets.
Soccer in the Streets.
Yeah. For Soccer in the Streets.
Yeah, for Soccer in the Streets.
So we're going to do a 4-part episode here. It's going to span a long time on Google Hangouts. So hopefully you're in and out. We'll be in and out on the live chat, giving you live feedback from the showroom floor, as it were. Tim and I are going to be swapping out on the table, playing in this poker tournament.
I'm going to screw it up. Kevin, you got to build the chip lead.
I'm hoping to.
Yeah.
I'm hoping to. So looks like they're getting ready to shuffle up and deal, as it were.
All right. So if you want to head to the table, I can just awkwardly sit here.
Yeah, and we'll have guest spots throughout. So if nothing else, if you want to take the mic and come over to sit in at the beginning, and nobody will see us unless I guess we can rotate the camera as you walk by it. I'll adjust the settings so you can kind of turn it too with the mic.
I don't know.
Going.
We'll see how it goes. I'm just going to sit here and just rip on the U.S. men's national team while you guys are playing.
That sounds great.
No, that's not great. I don't have anybody to sit with me. I don't know that anybody wants to just sit here and listen to me talk.
Hold on. Yeah. I'm going to mute my mic for a second. I'm going to yell over there to see if they're ready for it.
You could probably still hear Kevin whenever he yells, because that's how he talks normally. Kevin's giving them the lowdown on what's going on with our show. All right. It's going to be nice and fun. Hey, guys. Those of you awkwardly watching me while I wait for Kevin to come back. What's up? So what's the deal?
I just let them know. So basically, the way this thing is structured, they want to have this game done by the time the soccer game starts.
Right, at 5 o'clock.
So it gives us about a 4-hour window. They're going to structure this into 15-minute rounds, and then they're going to do a raffle. So again, we're going to do this in 4 parts, but basically every 15-minute round, you and I will swap out. I was just letting them know that we'll be tagging in and out throughout the day. So they'll have to.
They're going to have to deal with it.
Yeah, exactly. It should be fun for everybody involved.
So how soon before we're shuffling up and dealing?
It seems like everybody's sitting down. We'll have Jay Riddle on too at some point.
At some point, once the tables collapse and the dealers.
We'll have a lot of sort of celebrity rotation here. We'll have Austin Long on. We'll have Lee from Soccer in the Streets on. We've got Carly from Second Self coming on. Tom, the artist over here that has made some Atlanta United and Atlanta Falcons themed merch. And it's really great.
We'll get Austin, we'll get CK, we'll get the guys from Terminus Legion who are nice enough to bring us on. We're so happy, thrilled to be here.
Yeah.
In this capacity, we have a bounty on our heads, which is weird.
Yeah, I feel like it should be double. So basically, they get, if you knock out one of the bounty members, you get 3,000 extra in chips. I feel like ours should be 6.
Yes, that's true.
Or I plan to take the house here today. Between the two of us, and once we knock out every other bounty, that was my question on Twitter: was does it grow exponentially the more that we knock out? So,
what's this?
What is this? You want to come talk about it with us?
That's amazing. Yeah.
No. We've got a third mic just to talk to people. Come on over. We got matching hats on. You got to come talk to us.
All right. What's your name, man?
Salvador.
I'm Tim.
How you doing, Tim?
Doing well.
How's it going, man? Kevin,
nice to meet you.
Salvador. Good to meet you, man. All right, so that mic is unidirectional, so you got to talk right into the end of it.
Like this?
Yeah, that's great.
Okay,
perfect. So you just came over and put down some custom chips on the table here that you said you did while you were on deployment?
Right. So I was in the military. I was in the Army for almost 11 years.
Really?
Yep. And one of the 5 deployments we were on, a lot of us got together and basically came up with a custom poker chip that we had screen printed on, and I had about 500 of them. Only used about 250, so I used the other 500 or the other 250 to kind of give us gifts and whatnot. So,
dude, that's amazing.
So you want to walk us through the design of it? So you got different things on both sides here.
Okay, right. So on one side you'll see it's the cross savers with a 2-6 so 2nd Battalion, 6th Cavalry.
Very
and
cool.
I was in Air Cav. So the cross sabers indicates the cavalry division.
Awesome.
Looks like we're about to start. And then the back side of it, it'll say Operation Iraqi Freedom. That was our operational name when we were deployed. And it basically, since we are the cavalry, we didn't have horses. We have the camels.
Dude, that's amazing.
With a soldier
so
on it.
This is great.
And then you've got the helicopter right there in the middle. We were attacked. And again, Operation Kirkuk 2006.
Dude, this is so cool.
Yeah, that's
Thank you
awesome,
so
man.
much, man.
All right. Well, best of luck to you guys. Thank you so much.
Are you playing?
Yeah, I gotta go sit down.
Awesome.
All right, yeah. I guess we need to go do the same thing.
Big,
Thanks a lot, Salvador.
yeah, that's awesome.
All right, so it looks like we are getting ready to shuffle up and deal here. I don't want to jump the gun. I want to go over there. Are we good? Are we down? I told them to give me the thumbs up. It still doesn't look like they've decided. All right, I'm going to go over there nonetheless. It looks like everybody's at the table except for us. So I'm going to go over. We'll be reporting live for the next couple of hours. Again, if you're listening to us on iTunes, be sure to leave us a rating.
Review. We're 1 away from 50.
Yeah, we'll be up on Wednesday night with a regular show as usual. And just a little while.
All right. Do you want me to just cut it and wait?
It's up to you. You can keep talking.
It just feels weird to be talking with nobody else sitting next to me. No, but that's amazing. Shout out to Salvador for this awesome gift. These poker chips that they had made while they were on deployment. That's awesome. Just more cool things going on here at Second Self, and excited to get everybody in on here. Whether that's Eric once he gets knocked out from Owls of the South, we know that's going to be early. Jay Riddle once we have some tables converging, and then Austin if he were to get knocked out, or CK, just any of the guys. Super stoked about this New York Red Bulls game though. It's important, man. The way they've been playing has I don't know. I really hope we don't see the same team. Obviously, we're not going to see the same lineup that we did whenever we saw Minnesota come into our house and beat us in the 95th minute. But I think that we really still need to stay on our toes. We don't have Almiron, obviously. We got to be more strategic in the way that we are, I guess, deploying our squad today against New York, especially in a hostile environment, a team that's I mean, they have their playoff spot locked up. It looks like actually they might have a chance to lose against to lose out to Montreal. I can't remember, but at that typical home before dark fashion, I'm not prepared, and Kevin's not here to back me up and even sound more unprepared. See, that's the thing. It's like this ugly friend. What do they call it? Ugly friend theory, where somebody looks so much better compared to the person next to them. I look somewhat prepared. My preparedness is relative to Kevin's. So usually that's pretty good. That it comes off pretty good. Actually, let's take a look at the fixtures that are going on today in MLS while I wait for their poker game to start. It looks like they are getting started though. I think they're about to get the time. I can hear them yelling. So we got Atlanta going to New York at 5. Playing against Red Bulls. We have Chicago and Philly. We have New England, New York City, which is a big game for us. We really need New England to pull through and take that W at home at the at Gillette Stadium. Hopefully, I don't know, NYCFC, they're used to playing in a wonky field. So it's maybe not going to be as jarring to them to go to Gillette Stadium and go and play on those stupid football lines, but we'll see. Hopefully they're able to shut down David Villa and Jack Harrison and the whole crew and get some goals past Sean Johnson. Come on, Lee Wynn, show everybody what you're capable of. Show them why you're. Oh, sweet! We got the big blind to start. That means Kevin's going to start bullying the table. Lee Wynn, show everybody that there's a reason you should be on that U.S. men's national team. But yeah, I mean, just show the U.S. Soccer Federation why they should have put you on the team. And Kai Kamara, put some goals in. We need you big time. Expose that NYCFC defense for what it is, what we've done to it too. You got Orlando City versus Columbus Crew. Yeah, I don't really care about that game. I wouldn't mind, as much as it pains me to say it, I wouldn't mind Orlando City winning that game just because, I mean, Columbus potentially could overtake us. So we need that to happen. Toronto FC, obviously, they've secured the supporter shield. They're good to go. They're playing against Montreal at home. They can kill. I want to say, let me take a look at the table again. So Montreal, no. Okay, so the 6 spots are secure. Never mind. So nobody's really playing for a playoff spot, especially New York right now isn't necessarily playing for they could potentially get the 4 seed and end up with a home playoff game, but I don't see that happening. We'll see today. But right now it's Toronto, obviously, at number 1. We're 3 points behind NYCFC, who's in second with 56 points. We're at 53 in third place. We have Chicago Fire, 52 points in fourth. We have Columbus Crew in 5th place. So if Columbus were to win today against Orlando and we were to somehow not get a result, not take home the 3 points, I guess we would still be ahead if we got a draw. But at the same time, we need to leave no doubt. We need to go ahead and throttle New York up in their stadium. But I don't think it's going to be that easy. They're a tough team, especially whenever push comes to shove in the later stages of the season. And what other games got going on today? Western Conference got Colorado hosting Real Salt Lake. I think there's still some. It looks like Kevin's already building his chip stack. You're leaving me with a lot to. Kevin, you're leaving me with a lot to lose. All right, Kevin's already bullying the table. I think I might just anchor this for the rest of the day. We'll see how it goes. A couple more games, playoff implications. Real Salt Lake against Colorado Rapids, LA versus Minnesota. That doesn't have playoff implications, I don't think. I think Minnesota has some weird, minuscule chance of making the playoffs. Portland taking on DC, Seattle, Dallas, SKC and Houston, and then Vancouver and San Jose. So going into this game, it's going to be interesting just because I don't know how I feel right now. It's hard to judge because, our last game playing against Minnesota, we didn't have our full squad on the pitch, and it isn't necessarily what to expect from this team. Also, like I said, I mean, New York is usually coming through in the clutch and performing at a higher level whenever push comes to shove. So I think this is going to be an important game. We really need to lock down Bradley Wright Phillips, really make him work today. Even if that means somehow we need to, I don't know, put Jeff Lorenowitz on him, make him a marked man for most of the game. He is their main scoring threat. I think everybody knows that. He's been one of the most prolific scorers in MLS history. He's only been here a couple of years, I think. And I don't know, he's target number 1. We really need to shut him down. I'm excited to see Joseph Martinez, obviously, on the pitch again. Let's see. We actually have some viewers. Let me load up the live stream. I guess I should have done that so I can chat with you guys. You guys might actually make this a little less awkward for me. It'd be kind of nice. Oh, geez. Okay. So we got 7cc Dan and Brian Diefenbach. I don't know. Brian's asking if if you saw pictures of Bobby Boswell in New York City. I didn't. So is there a chance that he's going to play? Can we actually get him on the pitch? I know that I've heard people talk about, especially Eric and Josh over at Mouse of the South, talk about how he's not fit yet to fit into this team, and I'm not sure. I'm not sure I disagree, but at the same time, I would like to see him get some minutes. Otherwise, he's just going to be on this team as like a leadership guy, locker room guy until his contract is up at the end of the season, right? And correct me if I'm wrong. He's not on a long-term deal. I think he's finishing out his current contract with Atlanta United. So we'll see that. Robert Swick, yeah, you're right. We have 4 whole viewers. It is a Sunday afternoon during a Falcons game, and I guess a lot of people that usually listen to us or watch us are either watching that game or here with us. So, yeah, at least thanks for joining me. What are you guys expecting to see in New York City? Or not New York City, sorry, in New Jersey, because they're not even the New York Red Bulls. They're the New Jersey Red Bulls. What are you guys expecting to see? What are you guys expecting from our team? What can that lineup look like today? Obviously, what are you guys hoping to see in the absence of Almiron? Are you guys hoping Kevin Kratz is playing, or do I don't know what you do with that lineup. I don't know if you put Jacob Peterson in and move that midfield around where you put Carmona and Lorenowitz, and then put maybe Tuck Villalba back, and then put Jacob Peterson over on the right, or obviously Gressel. Sorry, not Peterson. I'm getting confused. Yeah, we gotta take away the 3 points here. I am trying to peek at how the table's going. It looks like Kevin is still dominating over there. I think the only person with more chips at him at the table right now is the dealer. And I'm at a brewery right now sipping on this delicious ginger beer. As some of you guys know, I don't drink, but Second Self has this 1821 ginger beer. It is fantastic. It says it's perfect. It's for a perfect mule, but I don't know what that is. I guess Moscow mule. But it's a good ginger ale, or ginger beer, as it were. I guess burns the throat, kind of gives you that true ginger taste. Probably helps with nausea too, right? Anyway, I'm just bullshitting while Kevin is while I'm waiting for this round to be over. But we have the way that this is structured. If you guys weren't tuning in to start with, we have four. What we're hoping to be four full hour segments where they're going to be switching out at the table. We have 15-minute rounds before they switch the blinds up. Kevin and I are going to interchange. Every 15 minutes, I'm going to go and sit and play for a little bit here in a second, and we'll keep doing that. So the first 45 minutes, there's 3 changes, and then the fourth one, we are doing a raffle. Terminus Legion is giving away some cool swag. We have some signed gear, some Terminus Legion stuff, some soccer in the street stuff. It's just a cool event, great event. Those of you who couldn't make it, I feel sorry for you because this is awesome, and they're great to have us and put on such an awesome event, especially for an awesome cause. But yeah, so Robert's saying we could use a W for insurance. Kindergarten level ref from the Minnesota game forced this game to mean something. It's true. It's crazy. I still can't believe. I just can't get over it. The fact that Calvo never even got reprimanded for that challenge on Villalba where he could have broke his leg. Or as Sir Alex Ferguson would have said, he almost killed him. And Kalman also for those elbows against LGP, and just the ball was still rolling whenever they put that cross in, I think, on that free kick for Molino's header at the end of the game. You can't blame the refs in their entirety for that, but at the same time, it's hard to say that they didn't have a huge impact on that game as a whole, because he didn't set the tone. He did a terrible job managing that game, and now you're right, Robert. We are stuck with a meaningful game up in New Jersey. Oh, I guess discipline was given for a Calvo, or are you talking about Kalman's elbow? Either way, both of those guys could have gotten sent off reasonably. We've had much less happen to us, or much more. I don't know, casual challenges, less. Okay, yeah, the yellow card. So we've had much less, given much more in terms of red cards. Like it's ridiculous the way that the discipline happens in this league. I think it's a testament watching this. I didn't know this coming in. So as a lot of you guys know, Kevin and I are kind of newcomers to MLS, and we have learned this league over the past, whatever it is now, 30 something weeks. And one thing that we've learned is I always saw that term. I think Kevin's talking crap again. So the one thing you always see is, like, quote unquote, somebody got MLS'd, right? So we didn't know what that really meant until we came into this, and we are seeing this. It's just even our one FIFA referee, right? Mark Geiger is terrible, and then you have the PRO refs. I can't name one that is good. And then I guess they always have an uphill climb uphill climb in terms of getting supporters respect, because they're usually giving calls against their team reasonably. But even more so, the PRO refs are terrible, and it's a shame to watch, because they do end up ruining a lot of games. Not even just ours. There are a lot of games that we've watched throughout the season just be decided by really terrible calls by referees, especially ones that just don't. Again, we go back to it all the time. when talking about refereeing is that you really just got to set the tone early, especially with the professional game. You got to know what you can and can't get away with, and you can't let it get out of control to where it's too chippy. So back to the Red Bulls game. I'm optimistic. I think that the one thing I'm not optimistic about is NYCFC going up to Boston or to Foxborough and losing that game against the Revs. So I think they pull out the W and we just get further away from that the second spot. It would be pretty amazing. I know this would give us all heart attacks, but it would be pretty amazing come next Sunday, which we're going to be out at the Terminus Legion tailgate. They're putting us up. We're going to be recording out there. Awesome guys. Really appreciate it. Most hospitable. It's fantastic. So the scenario going into next Sunday could be very, very heart attack inducing. But we are going in, breaking the MLS attendance record yet again at home, and we're bringing in TFC team who has already clinched the top spot, the Supporter Shield. If they make it to the final, they get a home game, that sort of thing. They get home field throughout the playoffs as long as they make it. Maybe they're not going to come in as turned up as you would expect. And that would be great because we could end up getting a more reasonably easy game to finish out the season and maybe take that second spot away from NYCFC. It really depends a lot on what happens today. So if we lose, they win. We can't get that second spot, right? Because they're going to be at 59 points. We'll still be at 53. We can't. It's not jeopardy. They're not going to lose points for losing a game. So I don't know. The scenario is it's going to be fun. It's going to be a good 2 weeks. But that said, tonight's going to be a nail biter. We got to shut down Bradley Wright Phillips. I'm still just rambling. I don't know. What are we sitting at on time, Kevin? Kevin, what are we sitting on time? We got 1 minute and 28 seconds. Yeah. So, sorry, there's a lot of noise. I don't know if you guys can hear the noise that's going on in here. I'm trying to muffle it out with the headphones, but yeah, it's cool the way that they did today in terms of the MLS schedule. It looks like everybody's playing at least on the same day, if not all at the same time. No, there's some 7:30 games, but I think it's good whenever you have all those games happening in the same day. Kind of goes back to the EPL. I know I think there was a game or two on the 11th, but today we have a full slate of games, and nobody's going to be watching the TV trying to figure out who's winning, who's not winning, and then trying to what's going on? Oh, we got another 30 seconds, but shut down Bradley Wright Phillips and then do your work from there. And don't try and park the bus. Don't play cute. Just play our ball. I would like to see a midfield that has Carmona and Lorenowitz in it, just so that we can have that anchored support. And then, yeah, just let Villalba run wild. Let Joseph run wild. Kevin's coming back in.
Just press play, or is it still going?
It's still going. Just
okay, cool.
I'll turn the reins over to you. I've been very awkward. Robert's been talking to me a little bit. Brittany asked a little bit.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Yeah, we have a whopping 3 viewers right now, so I guess I should go ahead and move over there.
Yeah, so
you
I
want to mute
folded.
mic number 3? You said you just folded?
Mic 3's out. Okay, cool. So just me. We're great. I haven't lost any. I won that first hand, and I've just had to be garbage because I couldn't get any face cards. So, hey, guys, I don't know what Tim was talking about, but I'm not talking about that bullshit. About Red Bull's game? Pequeño? Okay. Yeah, this is the part of the show where the unintelligent Kevin talks, so there will be very little soccer talk because I don't know the names or anything. Everyone's calling bullshit because we just rotated out. It's awful. Everybody thinks we're cheating now, and it's just rude. It's rude. All right, I'm not live here. Let's go. All right. No, I'm not knocked out, Robert Swick. I'm still in. Won the big first hand, which was great. And then ever since, it was 7-2, 7-3 offsuit literally every round. So it's been a rough table. The table literally just found out that we were rotating out. I'm glad Tim just checked the audio because that could have been a disaster. So anyway, obviously, U.S. men's national team, which I think Tim probably focused on most of the time while he was here. So I'm not going to beat a dead horse on that one. What I want to talk about primarily is my outlook in the last episode, which was Tim and Dan kind of had to talk me off of a cliff a little bit in that coming off of that loss last week, it was just gut-wrenching to have been up and lost in the fashion that we did, even though we were a man down. And it was a little bit of an eye-opener for me as a fan in that I kind of pride myself on being a fan, being a diehard fan of the teams that I do support, but a reminder of the fact that it is just a game and that regardless of the outcome or whatever, like you can't help but get that invested into a team, especially whenever you're paying money to see them week in and week out. But ultimately, like it's about the enjoyment, and I can't say enough great things about what this program has done all season. And I hope that everyone else is aware of that. Anytime, I mean, it's natural to be upset or distraught whenever there is a loss or result that you're not completely happy with. Hopefully we'll get the results that we want. We are still in the playoff, which was a point that Tim and Dan did make and made it a lot. You just want to see improvement. You hope for the best. It's just like, you're just disappointed. You know, I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed, I think is probably a better point to make coming off of that loss last week. But I think that going forward, we should all sort of reflect on and take inventory of the situation that we're in as a club. And it's one that we all really strive to be a part of, which is to be in the first season as an expansion team and to have made the playoffs, something that Orlando hasn't done in 4 years. So 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, who cares? I mean, their history's so long, I lose count most of the time. So be proud of the fact that we're in the playoffs. There's still a lot of undecideds and undetermineds, and I think that's going to show its face in the next 2 weeks, especially where I don't know what we're going to really expect out of the Toronto game. Obviously, we've got the Red Bulls game tonight, which is going to be at the forefront. What are you guys thinking is going to be the lineup? Do we know if Garza is healthy? I think I saw an article that Almiron may be back. I think Garza's out for a more extended period of time. So that's going to be tough. I just don't know what to expect anymore out of this team. And I said that last week, and I think that my frustrations were more about the game and the way it was closed out, but also looking forward towards the playoffs because that's what everybody's mind's on. And I just it sucks because whenever you play sports or you listen to sports talk or any sort of analysis, every team says, you know, it's the next game, it's the next play. That's what's the most important part of our season right now. And I just didn't get that sense out of Atlanta that last 15 minutes, and especially with it being the last 15 minutes. If it was the first 15 minutes, you know, you forgive that. But with it being the last 15 minutes of that game, considering what was at stake, I just didn't get that sense of drive or determination out of a team that was playing the next game because it was, okay, we're in the playoffs, we're going to be okay, whatever. But you had it was everything else that was at stake to get a second seed, to have a home game and a bye in the first week whenever you really need to take that time to get your team healthy. I just found that to be kind of lacking in that mentality in that game. So hopefully we'll see a little bit more drive knowing that there's 2 games left. I forget what my score prediction was for the Red Bulls game. I'm hoping to at least pull a draw. I don't know if I'm completely optimistic about a win tonight. I actually have not followed much of Red Bulls since the first few weeks of the season. Maybe you guys can enlighten me a little bit on that front. Looking at Tim, though, he hasn't made a move yet. I think his timidity, is that a word, is getting the best of him. He looks really cautious at the table. Jay Riddle's dealing, and if Eric Quintana was over there, I would call shenanigans there, but seems to be going okay. I don't think that we've had anybody eliminated yet. If we do, we're going to try to grab anybody that does get eliminated and talk to you guys. Like I said, we will have some celebrities coming on and off. Looks like Tim's about to play his first hand, guys. I'm actually going to take this show on the road, give you a little insight into the way the man behind the chip stack over there with Tim. Let me see if I can switch mics out here. Let me know if this works. All right, so we switched out. Check this out. All right, got to drop the headset. I can't hear myself, so let's see if this works. I'm reporting live on the floor, as it were. So if I do this and this, I think we can get it on him. Let's see if that's it. Let me double check here. Oh, the live stream hasn't caught up. I'm assuming it's on him. I'm going to take it as that being the case. So let's go see how Tim's doing. Let's go check in with him on the floor. Looks like he's just limped in on his first. This is your first hand, right, Tim? How's it going? Second hand? What happened? What happened first hand, guys? I don't see more chips over here. It looks like less.
What is it right now?
It is less. It is less. So what are your thoughts, man? Hey, what's your name?
My name is Christian. Good to meet you. How are you, my friend?
Well, you already met me, but
I learned how your playing style is. I got to learn a whole new playing style now.
that's true. So which one do you prefer at this point?
Well, I'm not yet there. It's only been one hand. We're working into hand number 2.
Look at him.
He's a very good.
He's showing off with the shuffle. Yeah, look at him.
On the table intimidated.
I know. I think honestly, it's to keep the shakes at bay, so you don't see that it's shake because he's got to focus. So watch the shuffle throughout the night. Every now and then, that tower will start to lean a little bit. That's whenever you push him. So.
I'll try to learn. It's a distraction because we're all just watching him, and we're like, we can do this too.
I'm gonna do that too. The camera's on you, Tim. All eyes on you. All eyes on. Yeah, we do need the pocket cam. You're absolutely right. All right, guys. I'll be back. So as you can see, that's Tim losing our shared chip stack that we have to somehow come up with results on. And I'm not as I think I'm more optimistic in an Atlanta United win and securing the cup than I am in Tim securing chips at this point. So let me switch over the mics here. We'll pick up 2. How's that, guys? Cool. So yeah, we got a couple of people coming on. I was actually going to see if I can find Tom here to bring him on. He looks a little distracted, so we'll bring him on in a minute. It looks like Falcons are on the goal line. There's a lot of stuff happening here. Falcons are up 10-0 right now against Miami, and yeah, looks like they just scored to make it 16-0. So yes, absolutely, with 5:29 left in the half. So hopefully a solid day for Atlanta sports all around. Brian Diefenbach, we really haven't bunkered down in any of our matches this season, and I think that was a time to bunker down, and we just weren't able to pull it off. So that was my point, was that Tim and Dan consistently, and I think the point that most people made was that this team isn't built to hunker down, and I just don't buy that argument. I think everybody should have to play defense and close out those games. I mean, that's one of the unique things about soccer is that you're not, I mean, I guess basketball is the same way too, from other sports, is that you're constantly having to play offense and defense. And so I just don't buy that as an excuse to not, Elliot Beevan. All right, so let's get on another tangent here, which is college football, because this is my segment of the show where I will talk about anything and everything. So Elliot Beevan just drops Syracuse, drops the mic as well, and bails. So some of you may know I'm a Clemson alumni and fan, and Clemson lost Friday night to a Syracuse team that was unranked and lost by a field goal. And my Twitter notifications have not stopped buzzing since it happened. And to that point, I will remind all of you, it was second-string quarterback and a backup kicker who missed 2 gimme field goals at the 34 and 38-yard line, which is just unheard of. So luckily it was a weekend of mayhem and a lot of other top teams lost. I think it was 7 top 25 teams lost in college football this weekend, which was great. I'm not buying into UGA at this point. I think that they will drop a game. Alabama's the real deal. I think that now that this part of the season is starting to come up for college football, we're going to start to see a lot of these top teams fall off, and hopefully Clemson gets healthy and they still compete. I don't think that their shot at the playoffs is over yet. Tim just folded another hand after I saw him bet. He hasn't pulled in a single chip since he sat down, and I've got to wade through 4 more minutes of this. God knows what I'm going to go back to, guys. Wish me luck. So yeah, college football. We've actually been kind of talking about doing a college football spinoff podcast. So hopefully we'll do something like that. Maybe we'll do a poker sideshow because clearly Tim needs some pointers over there. Looking forward to the Red Bulls game. So I think one point to be made that gets made in every sport. Everybody is just going berserk. What is happening? I don't know if you guys can hear that, but been some big hands played at several of the tables here. Not from our part, that's for sure. So Red Bulls game. So obviously we open up the season against Red Bulls. We go up with the goal from Assad and end up dropping that game 2-1. And as many points will be made about the Red Bulls not being the same team that they were at the beginning of the season. I don't think that this Atlanta United team is the same team that it was at the beginning of the season either. That said, it seems to come in waves, and I don't know. This is the other part of my frustration last week and my unknowing about what lies ahead for this team in the postseason and to round out these last 2 games. If Almiron is back, I think that gives us a better shot, but it's a mentality thing, and that's what makes or breaks teams. And to tie it back into college football, I think that's what you see with, aside from the talent, obviously Alabama being head and shoulders above most other college football programs. Whoa, we've just had a big hand. We've got our first all in. Wow. I wish my mic would stretch all the way over there, but I'm not going to make it. It's not at Tim's table. So it's a mentality thing whenever you get into the postseason because you're playing at such a high level for so long, and you've built up the camaraderie, you've built up the skill base, and you're going to play hopefully at the same level that you have all season or to round out that season. But whenever you're in a postseason scenario, it is as much about the pressure and your mentality playing those games as it is about the skill. And so when we're looking towards these last 2 games, I don't know where Atlanta United is, and I don't think anybody that talks about Atlanta United can really fully say that they know either because this is a first for this team. You know, we play games week in, week out, and regardless of the lineup, there is a lot of expectation and a lot of pressure on this team in the postseason, and it's the first time we've seen them in that scenario. And I don't know that last game was necessarily a result of that pressure, but it doesn't instill a lot of faith in me when it comes to performing under those conditions in the playoffs. Like I said, if you're in that scenario against Toronto or somebody else and you're up by a goal, you can't use the excuse of we're not built to play defense whenever it's win or go home. You have to produce results and you need to perform. And that team did not do that in a situation very late in the season where they needed to be able to do that. I did not see it. And so looks like we're getting more rules over here as we're in 30 seconds. Tim's got a big hand coming up. He just saw the flop. No, he just saw the river. I've seen multicolored chips come out. He's smiling. We've got more chips on the table. It looks like there's 2 or 3 in, including Tim. Chips going in, chips coming out. And Tim is still in, like I said. Okay, here we go. Tim is either going to he's raising. Did he just do it? Did he just go all in? Oh my God, Tim! Tim, are you all in? Oh, I think he's all in, guys. All right, I'm gonna go report now. Now that he's all in here, let's see if I can swing it. All right, Tim, did you just go all in? All right, Tim's all in. So this could be a long show or it could be a short show here, guys. Oh my God, that's my boy right there. That's my boy right there. Ain't nobody taking out this celebrity. Yes. How do you feel, Tim?
I feel good.
All right, so how do you feel? How does it feel to lose to a real celebrity?
Is he a real celebrity?
What's his name again?
This is why we're at the end of the table, ladies and gentlemen. This is why we're here. We play to win. We play to win. Yes, and the round is over. While they're counting up the chips, the round is over. We're going to rotate out. Tim definitely outperformed my efforts in my tenure at the table. But yeah, coming up big, going all in with a full house against an ace high. You will never bluff that man. He's been friends with me for far too long. So he might have the taste for it. He's counting up the chips. He doesn't show any sign of wanting to walk away at this point to relinquish control and watch that chip stack diminish as I get control over it. So we'll see if he actually gives me any sort of eye contact as to say, all right, it's your turn, Kevin. You're up to play or not. So wow, I've got all mics on here like a savage. So ready to rotate out? Yeah, we can rotate out. Cool. So Tim's going to come back on now that he has performed as he should. So, yeah, good stuff, man. All right, take it away.
Anybody still participating in the live chat? Cool. What have you been talking about? Just life? Let's see. Oh, there I am. What's going on, guys? So Georgia Southern team is 0-5 this season. Kennesaw State's 5-1. Is Kennesaw State an FBS or are they FCS? I imagine they're FCS still. But a school that big now, you would imagine that they would be up there. They got the facilities, they got everything. It's I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, that's the first time I played poker in a really long time. I don't know if Kevin told you, but he and I used to maybe we're ringers here because we used to make our money playing back in high school. We would play let's see. We would play table stakes. I don't know. We would play no limit pretty much every weekend with our friends. We would have pretty much our soccer team. We would all get together and what's that? Oh yeah. Okay. After I give them the background, did you tell them we used to play poker in high school? Yeah. So my brother bought me a chip set back whenever I want to say it was my sophomore year birthday, whatever that is. Still super nice set. They're weighted clay chips. Got crazy use out of them. That's how we made our money in college or in high school. Sorry, we would our gas money essentially to go to each other's house because we lived on different sides of the town. Yeah, I mean we would stay up all night. We play from like 8 p.m. till 3 a.m. So this is right where we're we feel at home. So Kevin said expectations. You guys talking about postseason expectations for a team that hasn't been in the postseason yet. I think that's where some of the experience of guys like Lorenowitz and Parkhurst are going to come in handy. Even Mears to an extent, even though I don't expect him to really be playing in the postseason if Walk stays healthy. But his experience in the locker room, maybe being able to keep the guys. Maybe being able to keep the guys' nerves down. So the guy, I thought I had knocked him out, but he's all in now. He only had about 100, 200 chips left. So expectations, I think this season has tested us enough. I think what's going to be interesting though is if we either get a bye into the second round to start with, or if we start if we make it into the second round, either way, how that scenario of playing a home at home. A typical European Cup tie, having that home match, the away match is gonna factor in playing the same team twice. I feel like Tata does a good job of game planning. So I think that in that case, the Minnesota game maybe aside, or the New England game, maybe just recently. I don't know. He's just hit a rough patch, and maybe that's them's is the breaks, right? So I think we'll do a good enough job in that if we make it to the second round, I don't want to jinx us, but of being able to make adjustments either to stay on top if we win the first game or if we somehow drew or we lost the first game, to be able to game plan for that moving forward. I don't see jitters from any of our guys. That's interesting. Elliot Beaven says you think they should start Bobby Boswell over who though in the playoffs? Would you take out LGP? Would you sacrifice that ball-playing center half to to bring in Bobby Boswell, a guy who hasn't played a minute on the field for Atlanta United. I wanted to see him earlier on. I wanted to see him get integrated and get game time minutes, get match fit, as it were, for Atlanta United. But we didn't see that, obviously. And I doubt we're going to see that in two really meaningful games coming through. I think we'll see Parkhurst and LGP in those slots. Yeah, sure, yeah. We have our first elimination coming over, come and chat with us. I kind of stripped him of most of his chips. Oh, yeah. We got a setup going, man. What's your name?
Andrew.
Andrew? So just, yeah, talking to the mic. Oh, there you go. Get your headset on. You know what you're doing.
I've done recording before. So.
Yeah. So, Andrew, tell us a little bit about yourself. Are you a Terminus Legion member?
Yes, Terminus Legion.
Cool. Life. Yeah. So we, you guys have been extremely kind to us. I'm Tim, by the way. That's Kevin. Home Before Dark is our podcast. We do the Atlanta United FC Weekly on YouTube and on iTunes.
Yeah, Kevin is the reason I'm out. So, and you.
Yeah.
You and you.
Sorry, I got a nice hand with that full house. So
I had a really bad hand with that ace high. So
yeah. So when did you join Terminus Legion?
I joined in 2015. Kind of just talking about
right.
Atlanta
It was just like
an
Atlanta MLS team, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was after we got the bid in 14. Is that right?
I think so.
Because we spent 3 years building that club, this club. That's to me a huge reason for the success.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of the bitterness from like the Orlando fans because of that.
Yeah, because they had time to actually build up.
Yeah, because they think that we were like given everything. Yeah, is somebody out already? Oh, yeah, he's still first out. Yeah, okay, I thought so.
I'm second out. Lucas was first out.
Oh.
Right there in the spangly thing.
Oh, I didn't even know that. Oh, just bought back in?
The rainbow spangly thing.
Got you. So you say you joined back in 15?
Yeah.
So what do you think so far? Obviously, you're still with
No, I really like these folks. You know, Austin has taken good care of us. Robin is Mama Robin. So
yeah, we've had nothing but great interactions with everybody, just supporters group wise, and then especially, I mean, Terminus Legion, you guys have been very like accommodating. We're going to be out recording live from the tailgate on Sunday, so we'll be down there.
Looking forward to that game.
Yeah, it's going to be amazing. What are your thoughts going into that game? Because it could take two turns depending on what happens today, right? So if NYCFC takes the game against New England tonight, and then we lay an egg, either we don't get 3 points from tonight's game, we can't get second spot. So it could be like next weekend could be the pinnacle of like heart attack moments so far for us, right?
Yeah.
Aside from the Orlando game, like in the dying moments and Bobby Dodd.
Yeah. I think it's important to retain our position as best we can, though. You know, if we go into it in that lower seed, having to deal with those higher seed teams early on in the playoffs.
Yeah,
I don't relish that.
Yeah, so the playoff pool's already set, right? We have TFC, we have NYCFC, we have us, Columbus, Chicago, and New York Red Bulls. And all those teams are pretty formidable.
Yeah, none of those teams are walks in the park.
No, the only team I could think of that I would desire to play, and let's call it even the 2-game second round, third round scenario, is Columbus. Just because we have, we took both games from them this year.
And is it like a warm-up game? Into,
yeah, because they're the only team in that top 6 that I feel like doesn't necessarily have an identity. I feel like they have good attackers in Miram and Kamara, and then was it Ethan? No, Ethan Finley I think's gone now. But anyway, I don't fear them. I don't know
if that's safe, but
yeah, I don't know that that's safe to say either. But I mean, even New York Red Bulls, they're a team that seems to show up in bigger game scenarios, and they just like Seattle. Like, well, they'll lay eggs at the beginning of the season just to get their bearings straight. Maybe that's just a New York thing because the Giants are always like that. Well, this year it's probably not going to be like that, right? They're on 5.
They're doing real well.
Yeah, what's his name's probably going to get fired. What's that guy's? Anyway, the defensive line coach. He got the promotion over Tom Coughlin. I don't know. The big thing for me is we do really well with momentum. It's true.
So to some extent, maybe going in without the first round bye helps us.
Yeah, we haven't played well off breaks. So
And-
tonight's going to be a good case. Like, it's going to be a good case study because we're
Yeah.
going to be relatively healthy. I think Garza may still be out. Is that?
I think Garza is still out.
Yeah, because he didn't play against Minnesota. I haven't heard otherwise, unless
I
you
think-
guys
I think
have in the
Miguel-
live chat. Yeah.
I think Miguel is supposed to be back for tonight's game.
But yeah, I don't
And
see.
McCann.
Yeah, well-
they're both supposed to be back, or at least available for
I
tonight's
think
game.
we'll be fine if McCann is playing left back, if Garza's out. Ambrose, I know I enjoy his tagging prowess, but Atlanta just got an interception on Jay Cutler. It's already 17-0. Miami's unfolding.
Oh yeah, they're falling apart.
Yeah.
And I'm totally okay with watching.
Okay,
this.
so Garza's out. So we'll see McCann hopefully at left back. I like Ambrose. I like his attacking prowess, but I don't think he does a good enough job tracking back.
I mean, I'm also not sure he fits into the layout that we end up playing.
Yeah,
as well as some other players do.
He doesn't really. I don't even interlope isn't the right thing, but he doesn't do good interchange play with Assad. So that's what you see with Garza a lot, is that those two will switch positions a lot whenever they're weaving up the field. Ambrose just seems to bomb it down the wing, and then either he puts a cross in or he loses the ball and he can't get back. So, so I don't think we'll see Almiron before the playoffs. If we're
you don't think they'll play him tomorrow or today?
I don't know if is he available?
That's what they said.
Okay,
They said he was available. Him and McCann were both available. For
I
tonight's game.
hope we don't. I don't know unless the game really. Unless it's, I think if it's a substitution,
sub him in late.
If it's a situation where we need a winner, if he's available, I think you put him in. But I don't want to risk, especially it was a hamstring injury, right? So those things are very finicky. Yeah, I mean, if you don't heal,
how many players on our team were out with hamstring injuries?
Yeah, it's an overuse injury. You'll hear a lot of people talk about that. How that stretch of 5-6 home games where he didn't really rest our stars. I don't know. You play the hot hand. I think in retrospect, it's always easy to blame the coach for that sort of thing. But we all, I think we're the most conditioned team I've seen play in MLS already. Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, you have Villalba looks like he's going to die at the end of games. Assad looks like he's going to die towards the end of games, but they're still there. They're still
there.
They're still able to truck and still able to dog people off the balls or make runs. Assad to me has been a revelation. I mean, the beginning of the season. The beginning of the season, I think I wasn't the only one who was very vocal about my concerns about him. Just that he didn't seem to. He was more about the player and not as much about the team. Like he's very much about getting embellishing the fouls and all that stuff. Which is it's kind of he does a disservice to himself because he does such a good job of getting legitimately fouled. Because he has such an awkward gait and the way that he drags his feet sometimes, it messes up the timing of defenders. You'll see that with like Luis Suarez, obviously to a much higher level, but higher extent. But those are guys that don't need to dive; they get fouled enough. But you saw that maturation process. I think after the red cards and after the diving fiascos, I think that Tata or somebody pulled him aside and was like, "Man, you got to cut it out." Yeah. It's like you
step back. You're good enough. You don't need to be doing that.
Yeah, he's been one of our most valuable players for the past couple months.
Oh, definitely.
He's been awesome. His work rate is unrivaled on this team. I think he and Villalba's work rate are ridiculous.
Oh yeah, I think those two have been the kind of the shining stars
of
this lap because we knew about Joseph Martinez. We knew about Miggy. Like out of nowhere, well, relatively nowhere came Villalba and Assad. So
we had somebody in the live chat ask about Brandon Vasquez. He's a player I absolutely love, asking how he's doing. He has a hamstring injury. I think he's done for the rest of the season, no matter how far we make it. I want to say it was a pretty decent. I don't think it was a hamstring tear, but I think it was like a 6-week injury. So I don't think we'll see him back, especially he's 18 years old. I don't think you rush that back either.
You want to give him as much time to recover so that there's next season.
Just so we have a future with him and Carlton and Kunga and Chris Goslin.
Yeah.
I haven't paid attention since the first two games. You've been following the U17 World Cup at all?
I have not.
I know that Carlton scored in their first game. They won their second game. I know he and Goslin have been playing. And then we have Kunga who's with I think the U20s. There's so many different divisions, the U17s, 19s, 20s, whatever. But yeah, I want to see those guys next year, but that's next year.
Yeah, they're not going to come up this year.
No.
Sure.
So what are you thinking for tonight in terms of score?
Oh, I don't know. because like you said, Red Bulls show up when they
yeah,
need to.
and we're in
Red
their
Bulls
we're
show
on
up.
their we're in their home turf. It's a pretty good stadium. Going to be kind of loud, I think.
I would really love. I feel like it'll be something like a 2-1.
Which if we could
For
reverse
us.
if we could reverse what they did to us at Bobby Dodd at the start of the season, that would be great because we outplayed them up and down the pitch
Oh, yeah,
the first
definitely.
game of the season, and we just lack of experience. LGP wasn't where he was yet.
Yeah.
I can't remember who gave who allowed the second goal, but who's all in, Kevin?
Oh, the bounty is all in.
Oh shit. Oh geez, it looks like Kevin's about to knock somebody else out right before the. Oh, we have a raffle going on. We have a break going on right now, so we're going to take a break. I'm going to mute the live stream for those of you guys joining us. We'll be back in about 15 minutes. Thanks for joining me, man.
You're welcome. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, likewise. We're back. After I had hoped, a lot of people went out to the food truck, Bratplatz, food truck, German food truck. Good stuff. Got a chicken schnitzel sandwich from there, some French fries. Got fueled back up for the rest of the tournament. Kevin and I are sitting. I want to say we're definitely chip lead at our table. I don't know about the entire tournament so far, but I think 2 people have been knocked out so far. One of them is bought back in, which is great. Typically at a house game, you kind of scoff at that, but the fact that this is going to charity is great. Just adds more to the funds that are going to soccer in the streets. Yeah. So I'm going to swap out with Kevin here in a minute. But yeah, it's been a fun time. We've had just logistics of everything. You have 21 people sitting at tables, and then you have 1 food truck, and then you also have dealers who need to go, and the food trucks take a while to divvy up that food. So I'm going to bring Kevin back on here.
Just go. It's mid-hand. It's 400. You got 25 Emmys now. Yeah, no. It's you. Hey, guys. So, yeah, Tim and I are doing pretty well. We are chip leader at the table, and it is getting intense. The blinds just went up. Hold on one second. Let me see if I can get Carly over here, who is a manager here at Second Self, to talk a little bit about the brewery. Sorry about that, guys. So, yeah, I am not even sure what Tim talked about or if he even picked up on where I left off and what I was talking about. Thanks for the few of you that are still sticking around. I know that the numbers are going to kind of diminish because of the situation that we're in here and there. It just can't be a completely live show because of the scenario that we're in. But we are officially in the hour 2, and it seems to be going pretty well for Home Before Dark. The celebrities at the end of the table over here, we're racking up chips and knocking them out one by one. So pretty soon, it looks like Lee from Soccer in the Streets is going to get knocked out. He's looking pretty low on chips as well. Eric Quintana has been talking mad trash, but I don't think he's got the stuff to stick in either. So anyway, New York Red Bulls. I don't know if I'm overly optimistic about tonight. I already harped on that. And even with the substitutions, I don't think that you play Almiron even if he is healthy. I think that you keep him rested going into that Toronto game where they're not really playing for anything. Maybe we can pull out the draw tonight, at least pick up a point. But I'm not overly optimistic, and I don't think you overstretch yourself for this game either. As much as I want to see it, everything I was talking about, mentality and getting ready for postseason and everything else, I don't want to see this team overstretch unnecessarily either, because the goals and the positioning that they found themselves in last week is slowly fading, and that door's closing pretty quickly. So I don't know if that's where you pick up at or not. So So we're at Second Self. I've been here a few times, a local Atlanta brewery over on the west side, a little off of Howell Mill. It's about a mile and a half for those of you that are familiar with Atlanta. And they've got a pretty cool spot here. A few things in Atlanta that I've been a big fan of since I moved here is how much growth I've seen within the local businesses. And one of the things that I'd like to talk about with Atlanta United too is what this team has been able to do to incorporate the culture and the city within the industry that is Atlanta United. And you get that sense whenever you talk to supporters or you go inside the stadium, and the first thing you see is Fox Brothers, a local Atlanta barbecue restaurant, and you get that sense every time you turn around, and so much so that they've incorporated local craft brews into the stadium, and they provide those on tap, and those are yours. Yeah. Sorry, Tim is confused because I racked up so many chips. He wasn't even sure if they were ours because they're spanning so far away from where we have to sit that it almost doesn't even appear as if there are chips, but they definitely are. And looks like he's sticking in. Might see a hand here out of him and Lee. The blinds are getting unreasonable. I think some people are going to be getting knocked out just for those here soon if they don't start making some big plays. So Tim may have told you we played a lot in high school, which was great, and hopefully we can get some more games going. I really like what Terminus Legion has put together here, along the lines of what Atlanta United's done. Again, like embracing the culture. Oh, looks like El Presidente may have been knocked out, or at least taken a big hit. We'll see. But what Terminus Legion's been able to do, what all the supporters groups have done with this team, is embrace the founding members. I mean, really, in every instance. CK got knocked out? Oh, man. We'll have CK on here in just a second. He's out. He's out. We got another man down here. So, oh yeah, and he was a bounty as well. It looks like he's buying back in. Some people just don't know when to quit, ladies and gentlemen. And whenever the blinds are this much, I think you just kind of lay it down. So, like I said, Tim and I played a lot in high school, and what Terminus Legion's been able to do with this event for soccer in the streets, and what it speaks to what the supporters groups have been doing in general, which is embracing the founding members, embracing the community, and doing these events like at Second Self, where it's a local brewery here in Atlanta. And all the proceeds for this event are going to Soccer in the Streets, which is a local Atlanta charity. We'll talk to Lee a little bit about that organization and what they do here shortly whenever Tim hopefully knocks him out. Tim's playing a little cautious back on the table. We'll see if he gets into any big pots. The Falcons game is still up. Falcons are up, so that's great. Anyway, back to what we're saying about local. Sorry, guys. This is what happens whenever Tim's not on the broadcast and I'm left to my own devices to just talk openly and honestly about whatever comes to mind. So pardon me and pardon my scatterbrain nature, because it will only continue to be so throughout the remainder of my time here. Nobody to keep me on track, nobody to keep me on target. So Atlanta United was something that I think a lot of people were skeptical about from a lot of different perspectives. Oh, we got another all-in over here. Looks like we may be joined. If Lee gets knocked out from Soccer in the Streets, we might be joined by him to talk a little bit about the organization. Sorry, dead air. Sorry. So, yeah. Everybody was skeptical about this team, myself included, knowing that I feel biased, and I think a lot of people that are founding members were probably biased as well. A lot of people that jumped on board with this team were biased from the perspective of course, if you're supporting this team from the jump, you want to see it succeed, you're involved in the sport in some capacity, and you think that there's a market for it. And obviously there has been, and rightfully so. I think that's been criticized because it is the opening season. But seeing success in the opening season will only build towards more lasting success as the program grows and the team develops and the front office continues to make strategic moves within the league. So, oh, we had somebody else knocked out from our table, I believe. Hold on one second. I don't want to blow your ears out, guys and girls. Almost another close call over at our table. Not by Tim's hand, so give him time. Struggle bus. We got people behind me. I can't even see them. So everybody, I was skeptical about this team and what they've been able to do to produce results on the field and off the field is, I think, what's important. And to hear Arthur Blank talk about what he's done for this program has only motivated the fan base to do more of that, in my opinion, where he obviously wanted to produce results within this team for the amount of money that he was investing. But the other side of that was investing in the culture and investing in a program, investing in a brand, investing in the fan base, and investing in the fan experience within Mercedes-Benz or Bobby Dodd, whatever it may have been. And I think that speaks volumes whenever you consider that this team was playing in a stadium that it wasn't necessarily intended to in Bobby Dodd, and how much people loved that. And then they had to transition over to Mercedes-Benz. People were even hesitant about doing that because of how much of an experience that they were able to produce within Bobby Dodd. But that said, you know, they've invested in this culture, they've invested in the fan base, and then the fan base only continues to do so. And you see supporters groups like the Faction donating money to the Fugees, or Sam Jones getting his Lorenowitz tattoo to donate money to the Fugees, and what Terminus Legion is doing today with this event to sponsor Soccer in the Streets, which is another Atlanta charity that provides this experience to kids that may not have gotten it to begin with. So, and I've even seen that within people that aren't affiliated with some sort of club or anything. You know, we obviously want to do that with our podcast and having people on to talk about it because it's an enjoyable experience. But why don't you come over and talk to me, man? We've had somebody else go down swinging, so we're gonna bring him on, talk a little bit about it. So you put on your headset. I'll kick you on here. There you go. You should be live now. How's it going?
I wish it was better. Just lost, but whatever. What can you do?
So what's your name? I don't think I even caught your name.
My name is Mark.
Mark?
We sat next to each other.
Kevin. Yeah. I know we sat next to each other. So, so what brought you out here? How did you hear about the event? How did you get involved with the poker tournament today? And what are your thoughts so far?
Sure. Great event so far.
Yeah.
I learned about it through Terminus Legion Facebook. And I'm a big fan of Soccer in the Streets and all that they do. So
very cool.
I'm here today. Played in their tournament a couple weeks ago.
You did?
Yeah, second place.
Wow, so you did a lot better.
A lot better. I had Pocket Aces lost to Jack 5.
Really?
Bounty called me too.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a tough beat.
A terrible beat.
That is a
River.
tough beat.
Yeah.
On the river, no
On the
less.
river.
Oh,
Yeah.
my gosh.
What can you do? I like the odds though. So.
Yeah. So speaking of odds, what do you think Atlanta United's odds are tonight going against New York Red Bulls?
Tonight, I want that second place.
Yeah.
I don't know how bad they want it.
I agree completely.
It's for them. Like, do they really go out and win both of these and hope that New York City doesn't win both?
Right.
So it's kind of a gamble to go.
So let's
ones.
play Tata Martino right now.
Okay.
So let's say Almiron's healthy. I think
Yeah.
Garza's out regardless. I think Parkhurst is available. People are saying rest him on the live chat. But what are your thoughts? If Almiron is healthy, you got 2 games. You can potentially clinch, but then you're looking at a playoff berth the following week after that 2 weeks. So what do you do? I mean, do you chase it now or do you wait and then put all of your effort into the playoffs?
Yeah, so that's going to be interesting for Tata, and I'm glad I'm not him. I would say Almiron probably comes off the bench if needed.
I think that's a good call.
And I don't know much about how much game fitness he needs going into the playoff, if he's going to even need to play in the last game if we can't improve our playoff situation. But I think if we win this and New York City loses.
What do you think the odds of that are?
Who do they play?
I think they've got Columbus left, and
I think it's Columbus at New York City, right?
Yes, I believe so.
Highly unlikely they lose that one.
I agree.
They play in a
Let's
little league field.
NYCFC has New England today, and then I'm
Okay.
pretty sure that they have
I think they
Columbus
finish
to
with
close out. Yeah, they close out against
So
Columbus.
are they at New England? It looks like they are at New England.
Yeah, I don't see them losing today to New England at all.
New England has a decent home team.
I agree. They definitely do,
I
but
think they were up there with us. They're just terrible on the road.
it's just one of those things that you see teams, because New England is definitely out of the running at this
Yeah,
point.
for sure.
So it's the same sort of deal with how Atlanta United approaches these last 2 games, where Toronto isn't chasing anything. They've got the supporter shield. You think that we can go in and lock up that game. Do one hand. You think we can go in and lock up that one game if they're benching most of their players, but the opposite holds true for the New England team. How much are they really in it this season?
Yeah.
Knowing that they have nothing left to play for, you're potentially giving up 3 points. That's why that last loss by Atlanta United was so devastating.
Sure.
Was that was your chance to kind of cement a foothold on a race to the second place. And I don't know. I think that's closing, and I find myself, if we're going to play Tata Martino, to get more. You have to almost play the rest of the league now rather than just focusing on Atlanta United, because you're going to see NYC potentially pick up 3 points tonight. You chase 3 points tonight, you give that up potentially. Almiron overstretches himself, and then you're looking down to this Toronto game. I don't know. I think you almost want to see this team play healthy and play smart and not play anybody unless you absolutely have to going into playoffs at this point. I'm not as concerned about getting second place as I am with keeping third, if that makes sense. I don't want to see this team give up both of these games and find themselves in fifth, because it is such a close race.
Okay, so you finish third. If you take care of business at home, you beat number 6.
I think we can.
So then you'll play number 1, and you'll have the home and away with Toronto.
It's all right. You got a minute.
Right.
I just filled it at the beginning of the hand, so you got a minute.
So right now we're talking about playing Tata Martino right now. Playing
Almiron?
No, we are playing as.
Oh, I got you. I was like, he's not a player anymore. He hasn't played since like the 80s.
Well, we are pretending to be him. And who do you keep on the pitch? Who do you bench? Looking down this 2-game stretch, knowing that NYCFC's got.
You don't play Almiron.
Right.
You don't play him tonight unless the game absolutely rides on it. If he's available and we have the chance, we're down or we're tied, and we'll have somebody monitoring the NYCFC game in the front office probably, or in the but somebody will be able to take a look at that and see whether or not we should go full tilt on that, because we could end up losing. At that point, we can end up losing both the second spot and end up losing him because of how fragile or how finicky a hamstring injury can be.
Yeah, I agreed with you. I said that I thought he might come on off the bench if needed.
Yeah.
Only if it helps us. I don't think in a losing situation, I don't think he comes back. But
yeah, and I guess what you'll see tonight, Garza's out, right? So we'll see McCann in there. What are your thoughts on McCann so far as a left? Because he's kind of a maligned figure in this lineup, because the first 4 months of the season, people were ready to he was our first signing. I want to say
one of the first, Alex Tambakis.
Oh yeah, Tambakis. Yeah, the backup keeper,
Sure,
right? Yeah, that we saw just deer in a headlight.
Yeah, he looked a little overwhelmed.
Yeah, just
neither
a little
of the
bit.
goals were on him, but he looked.
No, absolutely not. Those were not his fault.
Mm-hmm.
So Chris McCann, I think anybody who followed EPL really close knew who he was. Kind of. I mean, he's more of a championship player.
I think Coventry was like League 1.
Yeah.
League 2.
I think he played for Wigan whenever they were still up before they got relegated, and then one of those teams. Anyway, but I don't think anybody realized he's a versatile player, because whenever you were seeing him get subbed in the beginning, maybe Tata didn't understand him because he wasn't one of his guys. I don't think. So I don't know if that's whenever he was bringing him in, he was putting him in attacking positions, and I think he's shined most whenever he's come in for either. I think he played in the center for either Carmona or for Lorenowitz at some point. But left back, aside from, he played a little timid at first against Orlando whenever they were in town. And he gave them too much room to cross the ball, and that ended up costing us a couple goals. But aside from that, I think once he realized he can press on that, he's been a really serviceable left back. And I think if we lose Garza next year, he's already under contract. I don't think that he's to my knowledge, his contract doesn't run out at the end of the season. So could very easily be deployed in that position again next year if we aren't able to secure Greg Garza, which I don't know that we're going to be able to.
Yeah. So do you think McCann is versatile enough to play that same type of left back that pushes so far up and back? I just don't see him logging that
a little closer.
Minutes.
Yeah. No, probably not. I think that's where we struggle a little bit, but he's better. I would rather have him playing back further. His crosses are phenomenal. I think that he's a much better crosser.
Get up there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I think once he picks his spot, I think he's all right. Ambrose is too much of a liability on defense. He's fantastic going forward, I think. Granted, the best we've seen from him was against, I think, Charleston Battery in the U.S. Open Cup, but I don't know. As long as I'm comfortable with at least 3 of the guys in the back, I think with Parkhurst, LGP, and Walks, I think Walks has also been kind of a revelation this year, at least he had his jitters too, right? I mean, he had his first appearance, he let an own goal in. I'm trying to remember what game that was, against DC maybe?
Probably.
Yeah, it was, I want to say it was the second game of the season or third game of the season at Bobby Dodd, but he's been great, I think, and especially playing out of position, his natural position. It's hard to say what that is for a 20-year-old or 21-year-old. I think you're kind of forcing them to play a certain position before they've even had a chance to really get game time.
Figured out, sure.
Yeah. But I don't know. McCann, in terms of endurance, you probably do bring up a good question. That's probably why he doesn't push forward as much.
Sure.
But that also asks a lot more of Yamil Assad, who already is running his ass off the entire game.
Agreed.
And he's already looking like he's about to topple over every single game at the end of the game. But what do you think in terms of what do we need to look out for from New York Rebels? I don't know if you watched them play at all this season.
I haven't watched as many just MLS non-Atlanta United games this year as I usually would, so I don't really know what to look out for him.
Yeah.
I know, is their keeper healthy?
Yeah, Robles.
He's so good.
He's healthy. He's good.
So
yeah,
good.
I actually watched him play for the U.S. team up in Chattanooga back in February. I thought he played well. I mean, whenever we played Jamaica, he's one of those MLS lifers that's just he's solid.
Sure.
Yeah.
I feel like game one, he's what kept them in that game.
Yeah. Game
one Atlanta United.
Yeah. That and a couple of mistakes on our part in defense. Yeah. Sure. But that's. I mean, we're still learning to play together. I think that's part of it too. But I think Bradley Wright Phillips. I think we have to mark him out.
So what do they have to gain from today's game? Do they have playoff positioning to gain, or are they?
I don't think so.
I'd be interested to look at that because I haven't yet. But
I want to say I actually talked about it earlier today, and I've already forgotten. I want to say that they maybe can take the. So if they win their next two games, they could end up overtaking Chicago or Columbus for the 4th or 5th spot. So
sure. Probably unlikely.
Yeah, definitely.
I think they would need the tiebreaker, right?
Yeah, but
team.
No, I mean if they win both games, they'll end up in Columbus Crew loses their 2 games, they would end up taking the 5th spot at least. But there's really no incentive towards that except that you play against the 4th spot instead of playing against us in the 3.
I don't know,
and we're not guaranteed for the 3 either.
We're not. And
no,
I don't know.
We're sitting here talking about the 2 spot, and we may. I think 2 bad weekends, we can end up in 5th.
Big hand over there.
I
wonder who joined me out on the losers.
Yeah, it looks
bracket.
like Eric Quintana of Mouse of the South just got knocked out. Bounty on his head. It looks like somebody got some extra chips, maybe. It's a bad beat. Speaking of bad beats, that was terrible.
I'm still bitter.
Yeah,
I'm so mad.
It's hard for.
I tried to be cool about it. But
Yeah,
I'm
it's
so
funny.
mad.
So Kevin and I have been playing poker. We used to play in high school a ton, and I remember the worst beat I ever got, and it's happened on multiple occasions. But getting beat by somebody who doesn't understand what hand is on the table.
Sure.
And they're like, "Oh, okay, you beat me." And then the dealer's like, "No, you had a full house." It's like, you're not supposed to tell them that.
Yeah.
They're supposed to, if they think they lost the hand, if they don't realize what they have, that's not on. This isn't a computer, right? I mean, it's frustrating. Poker definitely brings out the worst in those feelings. That's a gigantic pot they got going on right now. Kevin, are you in right now? We got a big hand in there. Kevin's kind of pushing. Yeah.
You're going to be sitting pretty or joining me?
Either that or we're going to have both regular co-hosts sitting together for the rest of the day.
We'll start a losers table.
Yeah.
I'm down to play.
Yeah, start playing. Yeah. So you're with Terminus Legion?
I am a member of Terminus
Okay.
Legion.
How long have you been?
Since the beginning. Since day
15
one.
or 14?
Since whatever day they said, let's make a Terminus Legion.
Yeah.
I was like, I'll be a member.
That's
Here's
cool.
my money.
Yeah, I think I was talking to Andrew, is his name?
The first one out on our table.
Yeah. So he was, I mean, I was talking to him. You guys have been fantastic to us. We appreciate all the hospitality, getting us out here, letting us record. We're going to be at the tailgate against Toronto, doing the same thing Sunday. Probably be out there for about an hour recording, and then just hang out with you guys for the rest of the day.
Awesome.
Yeah, we're both season ticket holders, so we're usually out at those games pretty early, trying to mingle. So, what's that?
Are you supporter section or where you at?
I'm actually completely opposite supporter section.
Okay.
So I'm on the other end.
Side.
Yeah.
Cool.
So it's actually fortuitous the way that I ended up with tickets. So my girlfriend and I started dating back in December of last year. She already had tickets with 2 of her coworkers. I hadn't had season tickets yet. I went to the first game because one of them couldn't make it, and then one of them ended up quitting and taking a job over in Denver, and he let me buy his tickets from him.
Nice.
So I'm with her.
Hopefully you lowballed him.
It was reasonable. I'm not gonna lie. It was like it was $300 for the last 15 games of the season.
That's pretty solid.
Yeah, definitely. Especially considering I was talking to a buddy of mine who wants to get over here from South Carolina for the Toronto game, and he was saying the lowest he saw on StubHub was like 150 at this point.
Sure.
That's what I told. I look at whenever I need to sell or I need to buy or anything. I haven't had to buy actually. So whenever I need to sell, I'll use the Facebook groups because no price gouging or anything like that. They're usually pretty reasonable about it.
The supporter group resale sections, so many people are willing to.
Yeah,
as long as it's a Atlanta United fan sitting in their seat, willing to get rid of it for face value.
Yeah, definitely. That's what I've done. I've done that on 2 occasions, and I think that's a great thing though. And it's kind of sticking it to the people who are just buying tickets to jack up the price.
Yeah, or selling to Orlando City fans come in town to
Yeah, destroy our property.
Sure.
Yeah, no. So that brings up a great point. So one of the things that we've kind of, us and Miles of the South, have kind of coined the Orlando's not the South thing, because they got so butthurt. MLS Soccer put out after the first couple games, they put out a article saying Atlanta's they're the kings of the South, or the capital of the South when it comes to soccer, and all these Orlando fans were like, we've been here for however long. Again, they like to hang on to the USL stuff too.
Sure.
And the fact that they came from Austin too, where this isn't even the first iteration of their franchise.
Yeah, no, I used to go to Orlando City games when I was a kid.
Really?
With my dad. We were from Savannah, so it was a little bit of a trip, about 4.5 hours, but we would go down to games once in a while.
Yeah.
Like anytime we were going to Disney World, we
Yeah.
would stop by to see an Orlando City game. So
Yeah,
I remember they played at like a high school, I'm not bashing on them because they're doing great now.
Right, yeah.
But yeah, they failed to keep a franchise up forever, just like we did. So
Yeah.
with the Silverbacks. So
yeah. So
now they have something good going, and I feel bad. Not I do, because they have some great fans. Like
they do.
It's a great culture down there,
And I'm sure we have just as not to mess,
it's
not
just
to
those jerks. They
yeah.
really just
There's some we've had some terrible interactions on social media with some of the Orlando supporters.
it's the same. I'm sure you recognize the names when they come across.
Exactly. Yeah. No, they blocked us by this point. So yeah, that's no. So what do you think so far with that? Because a lot of people aren't fans of it being called a rivalry yet. I mean, we were trying to perpetuate that to start the season, just because they're regional.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a derby. I mean, at this point, and whether it's a rivalry, whether there's bad blood in it yet, I don't know. But
I mean, they don't like us, and we don't like them. I think that's the definition of a rivalry.
Yeah, I think so too.
I read the article AJC. I forget I think it was Doug Robertson.
Yeah,
he's saying it can't be a rivalry, and he's comparing it to other rivalries. And I'm like, sure, those have roots. Those are legit rivalries.
Yeah.
This at what point did they decide that they don't like each other?
Yeah, that's right. Exactly. But I don't know. I think they had there's a lot of animosity, at least I've gathered from their ultras or whatever, the people that I've had bad interactions with, that they feel like we skipped in line and they were giving us a different set of guidelines to follow to get into the league. Grass and soccer-specific stadium, and then the fact that we jumped, they keep clinging, the same people, obviously, they keep clinging to like Nashville's a better city, blah, blah, blah. Cincinnati should have got it. I don't argue that Cincinnati needs to be in the MLS or inside MLS, because they're selling out, 40,000 seat stadium for a USL game.
Sure.
But yeah, there's a lot of bitterness because people, they are upset that we skipped the line, so to speak. But I don't know that it's good to have that set of expectations for a team coming into your league, especially when one is bringing in. We're benefiting the entire league.
Sure.
So I don't know where that. I think and that just feeds into the rivalry, I guess. I don't know.
I mean, I don't know. It was hard for me to admit that they have a great culture,
Yeah.
So it's just the same for them. Like they're not going to admit, they're not going to give us any props.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I mean, we had some of our fans I don't remember who it was, get nose bloodied.
Yeah,
and,
sure.
Yeah, and that sort of thing.
Did you go down to that game?
I didn't. Actually,
it
was
amazing.
Yeah. I wish I would have been there. I was actually over in Louisiana. I was visiting my parents at the time. Otherwise, I would have gone down there.
I got lucky. It was my birthday weekend, so I convinced my fiance to do it for the birthday weekend.
That's awesome.
So she came, and what's funny is I sit in 231, mainly because of her. That's why we're not down low in the support section. Yeah. Because I don't expect her, who's learning soccer right now, to expect her to jump and scream and wave flags and get a kick out of that.
Yeah.
But in the supporter section away at Orlando, she had a blast. And now every time we go back to Mercedes-Benz, she's like, let's sneak into the supporter section.
Yeah, that's awesome. Crazy is there's a you guys have season tickets, I'm guessing?
Yes.
Yeah. So I tried to change ours because Kevin, he and his girlfriend have season tickets. They're right next. So if you're facing the supporters group, their supporter section, they're to the right. I don't remember what section that is.
Almost
104 maybe.
They get the feel of it, but they
exactly. They're in the whatever you want to call it, like one of the feathers, the way that the painting of the seats are. And we tried to be able to get together, but if you back out and change your seats, what the sales rep was telling me is that there's a wait list for season tickets, and then you would end up getting pushed to the back of the line.
You can't just slide over. You have to get back to the back of the line.
I think that was my understanding through talking to the sales rep. Yeah, they're great people. The sales reps are extremely accommodating. It's I don't want to do that because I don't know how long that wait list is. It could be one person or it could be a couple thousand people. I mean, we have 30,000+ season ticket holders. So
yeah.
What do you think about the sustainability? That's the other thing.
I was going to ask. I hope it stays.
Yeah, so
it's hard to imagine that it will at this rate. At least.
Everybody who doesn't follow soccer, especially the people that I work with in my day job, they're well, how long is it? How long will it last? I've been in Atlanta for however long. We lost the Thrashers. The Braves can't fill out a stadium. Blah blah blah. But my thing is, first of all, we have an extremely multicultural city.
Sure.
I think there are different parts of the city that on any given night could sell out that stadium or fill it up at least at a reasonable rate. But to me, almost nobody that I've met in Atlanta in my past 8 years of being here is really from Atlanta. Like the people that you meet are typically transplants that come here because we're a booming economic city. I think that's part of the reason for the growth and part of the reason for the boom and just the ticket sales and the support is just that nobody had an MLS team that they were bringing over to Atlanta whenever they moved here, most likely. And then everybody sees something to be able to get attached to. And it really helps that we've been successful since the start. Sure. I think even if we weren't successful from the start, we could play off the whole expansion season type of thing. But I think it's sustainable at a rate. I am glad in hindsight that they are not opening up the entire stadium for every game. Yeah. I think it should be for the bigger games. But 40,000, I mean, I've never been to a sporting event in Atlanta where I've watched on a weeknight a stadium get filled up like that. Hey, Kevin, you ready to switch? All right, I'm going to get Kevin over here. But yeah, it was amazing seeing Tuesday night or Wednesday nights and seeing it sold out, seeing the numbers reported. What'd you do? Kevin has bankrupted us.
I have continued to raise pre-flop with pocket face cards or pocket pair and then get low card flushes drop on the flop every single time. Oh, it's brutal. The table is brutal
over there. It went from really, really tight to really, really loose.
It's awful. And then we picked up 2 new players, so it's like you're trying to gauge that, and the blinds are just getting unruly right now to try to even like stay in. Like I've played 3 hands in 15 minutes and almost half our chip stack is gone.
Sure, that's how I felt with my pocket aces. I was like, it's like, what should I raise to get him out of here?
Yeah.
Oh well.
Yeah, I had ace king and then 3 diamonds flop, 3 low diamonds.
And
somebody pushed, and I had to back out. And sure enough, he flopped the ace high flush. So luckily, I got out of it, and he just won a huge hand off of it. But even still, with the blinds being 1,200 right now, it's just ridiculous.
You don't have time to lose hands right now.
No, you don't.
If you're playing it, you better win it, and you better win a lot. So.
And that's the thing, is that it's so tough to stay in. I mean, it's fun. It pushes the action. They're doing it the right way, doing every 15 minutes.
If we're going to finish by 5 to watch kickoff.
What time are we at? 3:30 now? Yeah, I think we'll be done. I don't think that my optimism in Tim and my ability to make it to a final table is diminishing rapidly at this point. So
I think I just realized I'm like the second one out. So it's a little embarrassing.
Some people, Joe, who is not even playing, is still in.
Joe.
Still playing.
Oh, man.
Just limping in every round.
Dude, I was so mad that I lost. I forgot about the rebuy. I could have rebought.
Oh, yeah. Did they close that, I guess?
I think
I saw CK bought back in.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, at this point, it's done for me. But I think it was available up until the second.
I think Tim's going to end up having to push pre-flop if he's going to stay in the hand at this point.
Even rebuying at this point, you're
against the wall.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you buy in at 5,000 and blinds are at 3 and 6 with a 50 ante, so it's
They're
like
at 600. Okay.
Well, actually, I think it just went up to 4 and 8. Actually, right before I walked off, it was 4 and 8. So it's Tim has got a mountain to climb. If anybody can do it, I think it's him. I hope. We'll see. So what were you guys were talking about?
I think the sustainability of the team and the culture.
Right. So what have been some of your highlights for this year?
Oh man, just seeing it all. Just waiting for 3 years. You hear like, hey, we're gonna get a team in 2014, and they say 2017, and you're like, geez, I gotta wait 3 years.
Yeah.
And like every year before then, you're like, what if we played this year?
Right.
But then after waiting 3 years and finally like seeing everything, you're like, well, they did it the right way.
Yeah.
I'm glad they did it that way.
Yeah, definitely.
Because you never know if they rushed into it and didn't build the culture and
absolutely
pass out the free flags. Like,
well, that was the thing that I was talking about that I think has been so commendable about this team. Like obviously you want to see results out of any teams that you support, but the fact that they've been so supportive of the city and the culture and the fan base, I think that speaks volumes to the longevity of this program. in years to
Yeah.
come. So
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm renewing now my
Yeah.
season ticket.
Yeah. So did you join us? Are you a member of Terminus
I'm
Legion?
a member of Terminus Legion from around day one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember being on the little volunteer group that passed out the first member kits.
Right on.
So yeah.
So
I've been there
what
since
drew
beginning.
you to joining Terminus Legion over the other?
First off, I was the only one. back
Oh, was
then.
it? I didn't realize that.
Yeah,
Okay.
they were the only one.
Very cool.
So yeah, just like the guys. Is a little bit of a different pace back then. Just as far as a few of the guys that were heading
Yeah,
off. But yeah, gelled with the guys. They supported the Silverbacks also. So
Oh, very cool.
I was a member, a season ticket holder of the.
Oh, were you?
members
I
that
actually
had
live
the
right across
Silverbacks.
from Silverbacks.
Do you?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I used to work over there for a while.
Where at?
So yeah, off. It was
Off of Northcrest.
off Northcrest. It's
Yeah.
called Encompass Digital Media.
Is that over
they got a
like
ton of satellite
between
dishes.
like if you turn
It's across
left
the street
off
from
of the
UPS.
85? Yeah. I know what you're
You
talking about.
turn right if you're going north.
Yeah. I know
Yeah,
exactly
and then
what you're
it's to
talking
the
about.
left.
Yeah.
I worked there for like 9 years.
Really?
So, yeah, so I was always playing Silverbacks, men's league soccer games, and
Yeah, my
some
neighborhood's
afterward.
right there, and it's the neighborhood that whenever the big games happen, that everybody
Yeah.
decides to park in.
Oh yeah,
which is
so it's the
maddening.
one like if men's league you shoot one over the goal, the ball might come into your
Yeah,
backyard.
pretty much.
Yeah, I've been in your neighbor's yards. I've definitely skied some shots through the trees.
No, it's not.
But-
It's not that. I think you're thinking about the one on the opposite side.
Okay.
Like, I'm literally like, if you turn right into the Silverbacks, I'm like on the left. basically,
Okay,
over on
yeah.
that side, but it's
Yeah.
where everybody parks whenever there's the game.
Your neighborhood is a maze. I've tried to go through there to cut through to Northcrest.
Yeah.
It's a maze.
Yeah.
I just can't do it.
I've got a close buddy of mine that lives over there, and the first time I went to his house, I was like, I know where I want to live now.
Yeah.
And I spent a couple years trying
Cool.
to get in over there, so that's where our
Cool.
podcast studio is.
Awesome.
Studio is in my guest bedroom. So,
Awesome.
God, I hope Tim comes up with some chips. I'm over here puckered, waiting to see how this shakes out.
Well, if he does, he's gonna tag you in, and you have to.
I feel like
keep it going.
because he came up. Well, it's crazy. We had those 2 big rounds where he pulled the big all in,
Sure.
and then I pulled the other one the following, and since then we've had 2 down rounds. So hopefully we're on the upswing again now, because it's getting tough. No, don't put it on me.
To be fair,
Blinds.
his monster hand that he had, he
True.
was called by Ace High, right?
Yeah, I know.
So it was a monster hand by him. He had a boat.
Right. Well, mine was I had ace 9 and 9 flop, no other face card, so I bet, and then another diamond came up, so there was a draw coming up on the river, and it was another 9, so I tripped 9s. So I was like, I'm not gonna run the risk of somebody pulling the flush, so I pushed all in, and he called me having a high pair and ended up getting a 4th 9 on the river, which was great.
You had
I did.
quad 9s?
Yeah, exactly, which was great.
Nice.
So.
Nice. Yeah, keep looking over at this Falcons game. It's brutal.
Yeah, no, okay. I'm trying not to look now because I've avoided every Thor Ragnarok trailer. I'm one of those guys that tries to avoid trailers from movies that I want to see.
I'm one of those guys who ignores movies and trailers in general. So I didn't even know it was a thing. But
Really?
yeah.
Even
sorry.
like Star Wars? Not even psyched for the new Star Wars?
I didn't never. I've seen the first one.
Yeah.
Like
Phantom Menace?
the 80s. The one that was filmed in like the 80s.
Yeah,
Which
yeah,
one was
yeah.
that? Was that Phantom Menace?
No. That was the
That's-
reboot that
I know.
everyone hates, episode
What's
1.
sad is I liked it though.
Yeah.
I just never got back on board with it. I think when they all started coming out like one after another, I was in college.
Right,
And
exactly.
I wasn't watching TV and movies in college.
Yeah, I got you.
So I think I felt like I just missed the boat.
Yeah,
And I was just like, I'm okay with it.
that's
but-
understandable.
but-
Looks like Tim's going to have to go all in. Oh, no. He got to check. He's going to at least see a flop. But then he's going to have to push. If it's something welcome, he's going to have to push, and I think he's first to bet. I almost want to.
I can almost see his cards through his
upturn. He's gonna blame me for it no matter what. Oh, he's slow. He's not one to slow play. He doesn't have anything. If he's checking, you push him off of it, which is exactly what Lee's gonna do. God, Tim, please have a pair at least. Can't afford to just check at this point. You gotta bet. If you're in, you gotta bet. You're just committed to staying in. It's brutal. It's absolutely brutal.
Well,
okay.
When you lose, you just have to say it's for charity.
Yeah, that's really all you can do at this point. I just didn't want to be the first celebrity. Well, I guess CK was.
CK
and then
left
he
before
bought
you.
back in.
Sure.
Yeah, so at least we weren't the first celebrity to get knocked out. So that's at least somewhat respectable. and then at least he'll be over here to give me company. Well, not to say that you're not doing so right now, but
I see how it is.
yeah,
It's okay,
exactly. So, are you a big Falcons fan too?
Do you love the Falcons?
Yeah. What are your thoughts on them this season?
Oh man,
Especially
it's
seeing what's happening right now against Miami.
yeah, roster-wise, you look up and down it, you say we're better than last year. Let's roll this thing.
Right.
Let's go for it. But his first few games haven't been that impressive. I guess.
What are your thoughts on the Bills game?
That wasn't a fumble, but we didn't do what we needed to do to win.
Agreed.
So
Agreed.
it's
I don't
one
think
of
that's
those
what
things,
lost that
like,
game.
It didn't help us win it.
No, you're
but-
absolutely right there.
but
Absolutely
yeah,
right there. We survived another knockout. So how many people have we survived at least? Let's at least see this. Tim is holding on. He does not want to give up that bounty.
You never know. A chip in a seat, I think, is what they say.
Then
Right?
we've survived 4, right? Because Joe's out now. Oh no, Joe's still in. He's still got a stack of chips over there where he's in. He's still got like $4,000 left.
Joe,
Not playing.
No show Joe.
Yeah. That is just limping in on blinds is still in somehow.
Yeah.
Jesus.
No show Joe's commenting on the Facebook group. Hey, what time's the poker tournament start?
Who should be the backup goalkeeper, Rainish or Tabakis? Did you guys already talk about that? Did he already mention that?
Yeah, we talked about Tabakis, I think. I can't remember if it was him or you.
It wasn't me. So somebody in the live chat said who should be the backup goalkeeper, Rainish or
So-
Tabakis. So I didn't know if you guys had talked about it or if that was a new comment. Because again, we're just
Is
switching
Rainish,
out, so.
is Rainish serving suspension or is that over?
I don't know, to
He
be
got the
honest.
red
He got the
card.
red card.
So if you say like no suspension,
Okay, so
either way,
I don't know
I'd
if
say
it's
Rainish.
today necessarily is the point, or just in general, a
Hypothetical.
backup goalkeeper. In that point, after seeing Tabakis play, I think it's Rainish 130% over Tabakis. He just seemed, and it may have just been nerves. We saw that out of Alec Can the first game
Sure.
where he just seemed uneasy. You know, he's younger. Tabakis, I think, is 24. You
Mhm.
know, he wasn't intended to be placed in that situation to
Sure.
really close out that game. But he just seemed so uneasy and out of sorts.
He looked nervous.
He really
looked
did.
very nervous.
And that was the other frustration I had was that the rest of the team didn't provide some sort of shoulder for him to lean on.
Yeah.
You know, he just seemed alone and really unnerved. All right, Tim's gonna have to push here just to stay in. He's pushing in all the chips now. I'm actually gonna grab this other mic here and go live
Sure.
to the table. I'm not gonna be able to hear you. You can hear me. I'm gonna go swap the camera here. Tim's going. He's gonna have to push just to stay alive. We're down to nothing, man. It's awful. All right. Dude, it's tough. The blinds are what was killing me. All right, so what are you? Let's see. Let me see what we're working with here. Just me and you. That's a good one to go with. What are your thoughts? Palms sweaty, mom spaghetti right now. Feel okay? Feeling good. Hey, look. I mean, this is why we're bounties, right? I mean, we've knocked out. You're the only one aside from No Show Joe that's still alive. Right. Exactly. Well, whenever he's only played, he's only been a part of like 6 hands so far. It's
If you fold every hand and only put up the ante and the blinds, you can still be in at this point in the game.
very true. Very true. Oh, I think Tim might pick up some chips here if we're lucky. Oh, yes. Please tell me no A. No! Oh, man. How does it feel?
I still feel like I have less chips right now than whenever I left the last time.
It's tough. I knew you were going to blame me. I knew. Hey.
I was trying not to fuck up so that you wouldn't come blame me. So.
Exactly. That was bound to be it.
You're the dealer now. Dealer's over here.
All right. We're still alive. All right. We got a break. Thank God. Tim stays alive. If we can at least outlast everyone except for the other bounty, I'll consider that a win in my book. So we're going to take another break. We got another 15-minute break, and we'll be back shortly. Check back in with us in just a bit. Thanks.